I've been thinking about what to talk about, so I was sitting earlier, I said I'll decide with what I was thinking about, that's not going to work, so I'll decide what I speak as I walk up. So I'm going to start with a story. A few years ago, in 2001, I sold a company and bought big stake in the People Party in USA. We were the largest shareholders in that public company, and it was the biggest printing company of its type in the world for scientific, technical and medical journals. We wanted to set up some operations in India for back office. Took them to Bangalore, Bombay, Chennai. Then I asked them, let's go to Chandigarh. Maybe we can start in New Bangalore and Chandigarh. We had a good meetings, met with the Chief Minister and all the rest of the people, except things didn't work the way I expected. Then I took them to my village, and they started making all comments. I'm very proud of where I come from. I never hide where I started and the journey I have taken. In the USA, they've had one or two comments I came to know, especially the technology officer who had gone to India has asked her to come and have a cup of tea with me. I was visiting Richmond. I said to her, I see you have been sending pictures of my school around the company. It employed about 5,000 people in the USA. I said, didn't you like the place? He said, yes. I said, what's the problem? He said, you know, there was nothing. I said, aren't you lucky? If I had a better school, I would have been even controlling bigger companies in the USA. I went to UK from India and didn't have any experience. Had a 1-year diploma course, took up a job, ended up managing a project at the RAF station. The senior engineer, regional engineer, came and asked, Mr. Puri, have you got the program for getting the work done? I said, oh, I haven't. I'm still working on it. He said, we have got to give a notice to the RAF people how long we want them to be offside, because we are going to change boiler house. I said, can you please repeat what he said? I didn't follow. He said, how long do you want the RAF station shut? I said, why do you want to shut up RAF station? He said, there are lots of ladies, it's all steam, and we are going to shut down the boiler house. I said, I'm not going to shut down the boiler house. Why do you want to shut down the boiler house? He said, that's what I have been in time to change boilers happens. I said, would you pay some more money instead of sending 2,000 people up from the RF station? He said, how much? I said, oh, I don't know, maybe 2,000, 3,000 pounds. This was in 1968. I agreed to, he agreed, and we didn't have to shut down the boiler house. I asked them to allow me a total of 12 hours shutdown over four periods. And we managed it for 8 hours in 3 shutdowns. I became so popular. I worked on more RAF stations in UK than any RAF person in the history of Royal Air Force. I left that company and set up on my own. I'm just having a story to see not to worry about what you want to do, but do the best what you have to do. I got a phone call one day from a hospital in London. I set up on my own as a contracting and businessman. And from Royal National Orthopedic Hospital. I don't know why they called me. I had never contacted them, never worked in any hospitals in London. So I went to see them. He said, Mr. Puri, we want you to do a design for operating theatres. I had never done a design. I knew what was needed because I was doing on the business installation side. I just started, didn't have much work, so very quickly, coming from Punjab, I became a consulting engineer within about half an hour of being asked. He told me that he's having trouble. They had dealt with the famous big and consulting engineers in London, asking them to do this project. Now this was in 1975, January 76. They have turned them down, that it can't be done in the period, it can't be done in time. But I said, okay, I'll try, I'll give you an answer in about a week. Let me have a think. A week later we had a meeting. I told them that yes, we can get it done. We'll get it done in the period and we'll get it done approximately the price I've given. They have been told that they'll need a 6-week shutdown of operating theatres. I gave them a date that on such and such date I'll need to go with the long weekend. I'll need 2 extra days, one before the shutdown, long weekend, one after. I was late. I didn't start the work one day before the shutdown. I started on the date, the normal long weekend, and had the 2 days afterwards instead of 1 day afterwards. I've never been a consulting engineer. I did the job, didn't know how to charge. 1 or 2 architects are sitting here, they will understand what I mean. I had so much work. I didn't charge them properly, but the advantage was I had so much work from all the teaching hospitals in London, postgraduate teaching hospitals. There are 12 in London. I worked on 7 of them. Like I worked on more RAF stations than any RAF man. I worked on more postgraduate teaching hospitals in London than any healthcare professional. Then I had, doing those works, I was just a consulting engineer. I also started employing architects, quantity surveyors, and so on, except there's big professional jealousy in UK, and the person who was in charge of the Department of Health, he didn't like that an engineer was head of the practice, so they stopped approving my payments. That was okay. I took them to court. And in the meantime, I was still doing some work. In 1983, I won. They settled on the steps of the court at £670,000, which was a lot of money, and paid £75,000 in costs. From contracting, I became a consulting engineer. In the meantime, somebody asked me, why don't you buy this company? And going from here, the only thing I wanted to was a car, sort of a higher level car mechanic, automobile engineer. Because I used to be a truck driver, that was the big thing for me. Now I have been a construction engineer, manager, had a consulting practice. Then I went out and made a stupid mistake about it, the business where I used to work. Soon after that, I was buying a company, one company every 3 months. That was my average. Although I had £670,000, which I got paid after paying the bank, I was still left with about 500. But it wasn't that money wasn't enough to buy the companies, but I was buying all those companies which never made a profit or weren't making profits. Having been a consulting engineer and seeing what the problems were and looking around and seeing that isn't working, that should be different. I didn't see what was normal. I only saw what needed to be changed. And I used that knowledge in the companies I bought. Within about 2 years, after 3 years, my business was valued at about 10 million. That's when I started Puri Foundation, and around the same time I sponsored Asian Arts in Nottingham. I think Malkit, he came there to perform at that time, first time. But I have, looking at these things, I have learned that you can succeed if you try, but there is a process. The only way you can succeed is if you believe you are going to succeed. If you don't believe, how will you convince anybody? It is the first thing. If you are going to succeed, you've got to believe that I can. There is nothing which can't be done. If somebody else can, why not me? I'm lucky enough, I've still got 2 arms, hands, 2 legs. That's the most a person can have. If they can succeed, I can. There is nothing which hasn't got a solution. I may not have found it as yet, but I'll find it. I'm confident of finding it. I don't need to know. I know how to find. And sometimes people say, how much you know? I don't know. I know very little, but I know how to find the answers. This is what happens when people who go to a different country, like the NRIs, they leave India, they succeed much more because they have got to find the answer. They find it. It's not if people are succeeding all the time. Immigrants, wherever they go, they have got more percentage to succeed and progress than the people who are living in their own countries. Another reason is that when NRIs or people migrate, they're not afraid of the job they do. I know some people, say, maybe from Brahmin families. I know some. They might be cleaning toilets. How would they live in Chandigarh, coming from my village, cleaning toilets? It would be a big problem. There's no problem in UK. But slowly, out of those, they bought a house, they opened a first shop, with a supermarket. It helps to succeed. My business is a strange one. I have no trading business. I'm in manufacturing. We are the second biggest manufacturers of chrome-plated parts in the auto industry in the world. We have got the single largest operation of its kind in the world, based in Germany. We are the second biggest manufacturer of tea bag papers in the world, and coffee pod papers mostly supplied to USA. We are one of the 2 manufacturers in the world to make paper for sausages. I didn't have any business, I didn't know what manufacturing was, but I applied. I used my knowledge, I used a very good Punjabi word, wherever I gone, jugaad. It has come very handy. On the way, I have shared some of my success. The first one was sponsoring the Asian Arts Festival in Nottingham, which I did for about 8 years. One of the things which, first thing I came, I was coming to India when Kargil war was happening. And Kapil Sibal was in the same flight as me, and there were lots of some colonel was arguing about what he had said and not said. I said to Kapil that can't you stop this in UK when there is something national happening? Everybody is backing the armed forces. Why is it Congress behaving like this? He said, oh, it's temporary, I'm going back, I'm going to change that. It came back, nothing changed, it was the same, but I went to see Bajpaji. I said, okay, I'll give some money towards the injured soldiers who are getting killed and their families. I gave them £40,000 that day, and they got me into the newspaper, Tribune, because I'm from Chandigarh area. They got me in Tribune. Went to Chandigarh, came back. As I came back, I got a phone call from one person. He said, Mr. Puri, yes, can you help? I said, help about what? He said, no. In the command hospital in Punjab, they need a special surgical instruments, and they haven't got one. They had, but none of them is working. I said, don't worry, I'll see if I can, tell me where it is and so on. I made some phone calls because Europe is 5.5 hours behind. The company said, we have got one sample, it is still complete. You can have it. I was able to supply that 3 days later. About 3 months later, I went to Chandigarh, and the person who had rang me came to know and asked me if I would like to go and visit the hospital, which I did, and they were all very pleased that they got the equipment at the right time. To me, it was great. I didn't think about it, it was by accident. Same way, I was in Gujarat. Keshav Patel asked me, have you got any intention of doing anything in India? I said, yeah, I'm thinking I would like to start something in education in my village, in Chandigarh. He said, what will it take if you do it in Gujarat? I said, I don't know, land. He said, he asked me, how much land? I said, oh, 60 acres. He said, we have only got 57 hectares. I said, I'll take it. And we started with the Indian Institute of Advanced Research, which was opened by Dr. Kalam. I also went to Chandigarh. Didn't get much support from Punjab government. They agreed to provide facilities, which I said I will open an engineering training institute. After about 6 weeks, when they asked me to come, and where is the file? It has no wheels. I said, I don't provide wheels. That is your problem, not mine. But there are lots of things happening in India. I get asked questions, where is going the bad news that comes every time, and I say to the people, don't worry, India is going to succeed. I said, how can you say that? All kinds of bad news. And my answer is, the genie is out of the bag. India is succeeding in spite of the politicians, not because of them. And politicians have lost control of the public and the business people are having. And that is going to make a big difference. The progress in India is from bottom up. In China is from top down. Top down will struggle after a few years. Bottom up, it is the public and the local, all the population who is doing it, not by somebody else. And the other thing which is happening is, we have got a thing in Punjab, we don't mind being poor as long as my neighbor is poor. If his house has got another story, I have got to have one. And that's happening in India because China is progressing. Now we are going to, it has done wonders for India, and it has stopped politicians being too disruptive, stopping things happening. One or two people also make some good PR and marketing which helps India. Narendra Modi is one. I have got businesses also in China. I went there once. We had agreed a deal, signed the papers up. There was a banquet. The mayor and he came and he was having in China, and bottoms up is gambling. We had plenty of bottoms up, and I was really drunk. Then one other person came to ask me, Gambe. I said, no Gambe. He said, the person comes, he's in charge of your paperwork. I said, it doesn't matter. No Gambe, I'm going to fall down if I continue. Now that was a big insult to him. He's got a problem of face. He said, your paperwork, they have got 30 days to pass. It will be clear, this was Saturday, it will be cleared on Tuesday if you have Gambe with me. I said Gambe. The whole agreement was approved in 3 days. And what was the bribe I gave? I had a drink with him, bottoms up. So, this is the difference. I mentioned earlier, I took people to Chandigarh. Badal was fine. Tell me where I get it. Then we had the industry secretary. He took me, showed me a place. He agreed that okay, we'll start. That the first thing he said was, I'll buy this property, I'll rent it to you. I said, no, we'll buy it. No, sir, you can't buy it. I said, why not? And we had it took so much time and arguing. I got this chairman of my company in USA. He is getting tired. What is the problem here? That's the difference where what was happening in India, what was happening in China. I hope things are getting different. I'm positive about India because the public and some of the industrialists are doing well. Some of them are doing well without having to bribe too much. I would have done better even in Gujarat, and I have got a simple principle. I'm not going to bribe anyone. If it takes me 10 years to do something, that's okay, I can afford it. If I can't do without bribing, then there is very little hope. And that's what I would like to say to everybody. Please make sure you don't do anything wrong. Long time you'll struggle. There are opportunities here. The people are waking up, and we must come here and provide technology wherever we can. Bring technology here. I'm in automotive. We are also the only manufacturer of specialist part in UK for cars. That's another thing I forgot to mention, but my plan to come to India soon, except after we have opened up a couple of factories in the USA. But I very much enjoyed being here and being the opportunity. I thought about talking of other things. I thought I'll mention something what I've done, and that if you put your mind to it, there is nothing you can't do. Look at the people, you say, so-and-so went there and succeeded. If he can succeed, there is nothing really, no reason why you can't. Take it from me, I'm saying it from personal experience. I left India with 454 or 55 pounds. I had some extra money bought from some students in Chandigarh, from Mauritius students. Otherwise, I was only allowed 375. So I cheated. I even got 3 pounds foreign exchange at the airport. For every pound I took, I have returned at least 100,000 pounds back to India. But I'm continuing, and it's not the end. There is something which was about charity. We average about £500,000 a year, at least. A few years ago, when I was 63 years old, I asked my nephew and made him a trustee of the charitable trust, and got them together that when I die, this is what I want you to do, and so on. We were sitting down at home and having a drink. He said, Chacha, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Okay, if you say so. Another few sips, he said, Chacha, you're saying you want all these things done for good causes and so on. I said, yes. Are you sure you mean it? This went on over an hour and a half, 6-7 times. Then I lost my temper. I said, Rupinder, which is not very often, I should conclude. I said, Rupinder, don't you understand? How are you questioning me like this? He said, I said, reason. I said, what? He said, Chacha, you say you're committed to doing all these things. And this is your main aim, purpose you feel. And you don't want to do it yourself. It's not my aim. And you want me to do it, but you don't want to do it yourself. I had no answer for him. I handed over soon at 65 years, and 1 month and 11 days later to visit the brother, the chairmanship of the business, and said, now I'm going to spend my time doing what I really want to do some good work, We have started educational schools in Nepal. We have got 700 running. We have also given money to schools. We had some bad experiences. Some teachers were kidnapped by wrong people and we lost 6 teachers. In India, because they were Hindu teachers and were kidnapped by the Christians, nobody will even print the news. That was 16 years ago. And that stopped me from doing more things at that time in India. That I felt personally guilty that if I hadn't put them in there, this problem wouldn't have arisen. Even when you say you want to do good, it's not easy. There's nothing easy in this life. You've got to make the effort and have the commitment to do it. Don't give up and do whatever you can. I'm a fairly intelligent person. I can hope to win every argument if I sit down in a meeting. Not that I win every argument, but at least I start a belief that I'm going to win every argument I get into. But I know I can't take a single penny with me when I'm dead. That's why they'll be breaking stress soon. They will stop working, and with the purpose is to get them to work. I believe education, which I feel is most important. That once I was on a Congo in the UK, and I was interviewed, and I was deputy chairman of Training and Enterprise Council, and they asked me what do I think about money going to education and what health. I said I will put money into education in preference to health every day of the week. If you spend money on the health, you will never have money for education. But if you spend money on education, as a result of the progress in education, you will get the money in health. You will get the money for everything else. But education is the most important thing for me. That's what I want to contribute, and wherever I can. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I talked too much.